Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda here of Psych Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a glorious 1v1 here on Kholodny Ferma. In the West, it is Angreifen, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here, where the 2nd Division hold the line as the Germans launch a counterattack to force the Americans back a bit. We got Airborne here with Pathfinders, 50 cals, paratroopers, anti-tank guns from air above, and P-47s. The East, it is Caesar, fighting for the Oberkommers, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 17th SS Panzergrenadierdivision Götz von Berlichingen tasked with pushing forwards here for Deutschland, with Feuersturm featuring Flammenhetzers, assault packages, incendiary munitions, Oberblitzers, and the rocket barrage. Double full grenades versus Pathfinder's Rifleman, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my page reporters, one for people, one and all, and a crucial part to the Propagandacast's continued existence, so thanks for all those. Also, big thanks to Iron Fist for donating and support the Propagandacast, and big thanks to Sven for donating as well. Big thanks. Great to support me as well. They were hard-earned money, so yeah, thanks to every single one of those. Other people can join the Xbox Patreon on Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. Links in the description. Finally, you can also just, consider pre-ordering companies free for the links in the comments. Use the code CoH2 and also comment, like, share, subscribe. So with those commercial messages out of the way, because, I do like money to live, we off to the fight here in the north. Angreifen moves forwards for freedom and democracy. In the south, sees advances for Deutschland. Lots of Volksgrenadiers here. Might actually see some MP40s then. In particular, say on a map like Kholodny Ferma, the MP40 Volksgrenadiers can certainly pack a punch, because there's not like a lot of large distances where like the opponent could just sort of safely shoot them down from like afar. So that definitely gives some room there. We got more Pathfinders out here for Angreifen. For those wondering what Pathfinders were, they were basically sort of paratroopers that dropped ahead of the main drops. Their task was to secure the drop zones ahead of time, prepare them, sort of, help try and make the large air droppings a bit more accurate. Typically, though, they didn't quite work out, though, but that was kind of their task. As a fun side note, British paratroopers also make use of Pathfinders. Sandbags on the center, you can see there, Caesar is scouting around here, looking for targets to sail here. Third Volks squad there for Caesar. And the 17th SS, which was a, air quote, volunteer Panzergrenadier division made out of ethnic Germans from Hungary and Romania. I actually think they're primarily conscripted. As a fun side note, Pathfinder flank behind the Fultons here in the centre. Could catch the Fultons in a bit of a bad spot. Tank traps here by the southern point. The aggressive play of both Caesar and Angreifen. Caesar basically just trying to hit where it hurts the most. And I think Angreifen, meanwhile, is just trying to play around Caesar, trying to, bait him into position, but sort of bleed him out here, without necessarily getting caught into like a head-hold slug out, with the more assault-heavy formations of Angreifen. In particular, the Sturm Pioneer could, of course, be a massive issue for his Pathfinder if he caught in a bad spot. And this cut-off on there being hit back here by Angreifen, freedom and democracy. See, a lot of movement here now, all of a sudden. A lot of action. We got flamethrowers here for the Sturm Pioniere. The Flammenwerfer 35, which would later be replaced by the Flammenwerfer 41. More folks out there for Caesar, so that's a total of 4. And again, if they were to be equipped with MP40s, that could mean a lot of close quarters firepower here versus Angreifen, which again on this map would be pretty solid. Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper on the way there. Might be mechanized, might be Belgrave headquarters. Typically, though, you'll see a lot of players with this commander go for mechanized because they can just use the Blitz as an ambulance. Got the truck out there for Caesar. As for Angreifen, we got Captain out there. Anti-tank guns and pack counters, in particular on this map, could be quite potent. Plus, of course, the anti-aircraft tower attack probably also works a bit better on this map compared to some of the more open maps. Pathfinder being pushed back by the Volks with the Sturm Pioniere. Do get the mechanized right there for Caesar and the 17th SS. Got the Volks in Norfolk here. Pushing forwards here with the Sturm Pioniere. We got a bit of barbed wire here. Can't just push forwards there. Up north here, a bit of skirmishing. Volksgrenadier steadily advancing here for the German army. In the south here, we got Angreifen poking about there for freedom and democracy. Ambulance on the way for him as well. El Capitan there. Interesting enough. Oh, there we go. He's getting the BA. I was about to say, isn't getting it. Mind here from Caesar. Nice aggressive play there. In this case, the Captain pops in and can just burn them out. Schutzmine 42. So far, a fairly strong start here for Caesar versus Angreifen, hitting all of his vital points. Again, Caesar's Angrifen's force, he's sort of more set up for attrition here with the Pathfinders, but On this map can be a bit tougher, that's it. In the south he does manage to sort of flank around, but Caesar overhead forces there to deal with such an eventuality. So what will Angreifen do next here? He needs to, I think, reorganize his tactics and come up with a different approach, because otherwise he's kind of going to get bled out there, I think. Sturmpioneer joining for a bit of fun against the retreating echelons. No mechanized command post upgrade yet. Can't even airdrop 50 cals. So what will Angreifen do in the face of Caesar? Is mechanized reckoning done? Could go for fast looks, could go for fast Puma. Relatively fast looks, as the looks has an incredibly higher build time for a light vehicle, but that's also because people just rush them out really fast and then just dominate the fight, so they basically just gave the looks an incredibly long build time to counter that. And to take away there for Angreifen, obviously concerned about enemy light vehicles, be it the flak half-tax, looks or even a Puma. But there you go, Sturmpioneers have no call for the Pathfinders here. The already alone helps the Pathfinders here, definitely have the advantage here. We'll need to treat the Sturmpioneer before the Pathfinders just straight up execute them. Anti-tank gun there, halfway done, actually more than halfway done. And we do get the Puma here for Caesar, obviously concerned about American light vehicles that could throw his game around. Of course, that may also dissuade then Angreifen for spending resources on light vehicles himself, because the Puma's going to hard counter and he can deal with it with the anti-tank gun. North here fighting for the fuel point here, Captain versus 2 full-scale leader squads, not great there for Angreifen's El Capitan. We also do get the assault package there for the full-scale leaders, a load of MP40s. Plus access to grenades instead of incendiary grenades, and smoke grenades. It's actually a pretty handy upgrade for just 45 munitions. Truck on the way there. Nope, briefly cancel the MD-34 instead for Caesar. Not a bad idea either, honestly. And there you go, MP40's up. Was in fact not uncommon for some full-scale units at later stages of the war to be equipped with assault submachine guns because they couldn't get enough assault rifles, which they're actually supposed to be equipped with. Little fun fact there. MP40s could have been, but could also been like, you know, captured sewed submachine guns. Anti-tanking up a good shot, then the Puma right through the armor. Not exactly well enough armor to withstand the shot of an anti-tank gun there. Full-scale leader squad almost wiped out. Full-scale Sturmpioneer moving forwards. Need to fix up the Puma. And we got the MD-34. They've been called to the front line here by Caesar and the 17th SS. Full-scale Northern Point. Truck there, or mechanized command post upgraded. Calling in a machine gun there from above. Weapon max also being unlocked. Yeah, losing the fuel point in north again. He is very sort of emphasizing the south. He's probably trying to hit Caesar's fuel point, but is ironically then leaving his own fuel point, well, undefended a lot of the time here. Route squad in trouble here, being swarmed here by German troops in the south. More MP40s on the way there. Could in fact be planning to equip all of them with it. Definitely say on a map like Kholodny Ferma, that's a pretty potent set of upgrades. Maybe not on a map like Amelie Fields. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but will require you to use your orbital blitz to transport troops around. Sprint to light anti-vehicle mine. Thumbs up the Angreifen back to laying that down. There you go, northern fuel point once more seized for Deutschland. Anti-tank and they're caught by the Puma. And we got the 50 cal there on the Pathfinders on it. Nice combo there as the Pathfinders have increased line of sight, so by crewing the 50 cal with the Pathfinders, it also gets to share that same line of sight, meaning you can actually make full use of its range. North East Captain around the full Grenadiers, which is why we see some players still airdrop 50 cals, even though going for the Lieutenant can just build it, because again, just 50 cals with Pathfinders man them is pretty good. Truck on the way there for Caesar. Guessing schwerer panzered quarters, there could be a Belgrade headquarters, fixing the Puma in the south. Angreifen needs to swing back hard. Honestly, either Packards or Mortier would be great for him right now, I think, versus Caesar. 2 squads with MP40s for now. Puma moving towards the center here for Deutschland. 50 that keeps trying at the MD-34. And no artillery there. And I definitely say Kholodny Ferma is in particular one of those 1v1 maps that really benefits a lot from light artillery. Absolutely like one of the top 1 maps, I think. So lack of artillery here from Angreifen is definitely not helping. Of course, Caesar may struggle a bit more because all the artillery he can get is the Stukas of Fürst, which is definitely a bit tricky to make use of on this map. Not impossible, just tricky. Sturmpioneer also wiped out. That could be a, yes, great kill here for Angreifen. Wiping one of Caesar's premier units there is definitely going to make him a bit less able to just quickly exploit engagements. At the same time, though, of course, still has plenty of Fultons with MP40, so it's not like he's lacking in assault units, but the flamethrower team was a key component here of Caesar's forces. Now we got the 5th being swarmed by German infantry here. Captain Attack from North Fulton being caught in a bit of a bad spot. Puma dives into the basic, going for the ambulance, but there you go, push too far, and the 5th anti-tank should be able to take out the Puma here. There you go, pop goes the Weasel, and the ambulance survives. Wow, Caesar's going all in, but it is coming at some increasingly large risks here, and it is costing him quite a bit here, so clearly looking to perhaps clean the fight faster than he might have been able to. Here he extended and got punished by Angreifen, who of course is more than happy to punish his opponent for such recklessness. And of course it's about fixing up the ambulance while the crew's just sort of like sitting inside the ambulance going, good God. Still, Caesar's got most of the map. He's got the Schwer punted cores up there. He's also going for another Sturm Pioneer squad. Solid there. In the south, Fulton, they grab the point here. Reinforcing. Got Fulton caught here with the rifle squad. Going for the northern fuel point again. Just excellent resource control here by Caesar against Angreifen. The map control is just supreme here. And there you go. At range, the Pathfinders will absolutely beat the Fultons with MP40s. Absolutely beat them. Note he's also upgrading them with BARs, forming the Barfinders. There with fresh troops. More flamethrowers here for Caesar. Certainly a map that really rewards flamethrowers for sure. So what will Angreifen go for next? Who knows? Now the 5th Kholodny Ferma is actually floating quite a bit of manpower. I mean, you know, more support weapons, pack houses and mortars I think would be just solid additions here for Angreifen versus Caesar. We'll see there. More MP40s on the way as well, leaving just with one squad that has yet to be upgraded with the Maschinenpistole 40. North here, Captain catching the falls of the retreat. MD-40 by the northern victory point here, looking to dissuade any Americans from pushing onto it. And the south here, Pathfinders versus a large German infantry force here. A lot of MP40s, flamethrowers, and Sturmgewehrs. That is a lot of lead. Anti-tank coming to center. Theoretically, could actually try and like make a move on the Schwerer punted quarters with his anti-tank gun. They should definitely have 2 and try and destroy it. That could actually cost Caesar a bit as well there. And we got more Pathfinders out now. That I did not expect at this point. I've missed more likely to expect like paratroopers. But more Pathfinders this late into the game to go to 3 Pathfinders is quite rare actually. Forcing, and there you go. He's actually going to go for a full 4 Volksgunners with MP40s and Obersoldaten. This is going to be a pretty infantry-heavy match, though, with some differences. There's again, Angreifen's Pathfinders, of course, mean he can sort of dominate at ranges to a degree, but the map is definitely one of those maps, again, it's going to be tricky to pull that off with. And, you know, again, Caesar's going to be, you know, well, he's got a lot of smokes can actually help negate that range advantage that Angreifen's Pathfinders always enjoy, so some things to consider there. Another anti-tank gun could also take up. Go for the major. But yeah, unless he can like get really close, the problem is the fighting positions is basically what Angreifen's hiding his Pathfinders in the shadow of, so he's going to have to like back off, hope to like bait them into a corner. North here, we also got engaged. There we go. The 4th squad has been equipped now. We also got the Obersoldaten on the way there, though they do lack the nations for the Maschinengewehr. North here, Fultons pushing for the calf point again there, outmaneuvering here Angreifen once more as he puts all his weight towards the south. The north is again left a bit exposed. He's also, that is, Caesar close to a Panther 4 model G. In fact, he could actually rush out the Flammhetzer now. I actually think he could get away with that. Though whether or not he does it, of course, is another question entirely, but I'd argue he could get away with it. I mean, Angrein's not work close to tanks. Obviously, the double anti-tank could be a problem, but, you know, in theory, he could still make it work. Theory. Got the Fultons with the rifle squad here by the northern fuel point. In the center, the MD-Fed force the Pathfinders, and further south here, a bit of skirmishing between Caesar and Angreifen's captain, who is definitely not up for any further fighting. Pushing the machine in the center of the Pathfinders, quickly suppressed. Still there are more Pathfinders about here against the machine gun team. A lot of action here, a lot of intensity here. Close to Panther 4 here, Angreifen finally taking up himself. And there you go, the Fulton been caught here by a lot of Pathfinders, need to retreat them now. course, the MD-34 here is now possibly next target here for Angreifen's Wrath. More troops pushing forward to the 2 full-screeners over the MP-40s. Charging ahead there for Deutschland. 5th cutting up to stop the German assault here. Pathfinder's being pinned down by the MD-34. Should pop instantly on piercing rounds. It's a really good ability, but does tend to get overlooked, unfortunately. And here we go. Panzer IV Molnier for Caesar. And the German army. Nearby support from the 2nd Panzer Division, as the 17th SS did not actually have any panzers. It had a full Panzer battalion filled with Stug 4s, but no actual panzers. In fact, it was common for Panzer Grenadier divisions to have their Panzer battalion equipped with Stugs, but they basically used them as, so to say, Ersatzpanzers. In fact, the Stug 4 was commonly used for this particular purpose. So, little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. The 17th SS was supposed to have a full tank destroyer battalion of Jagdpanzer IVs, but they never arrived in time, and so it had to make do with Marder Fries and its tank destroyer battalion. Got the Panzer Molnier here for Caesar, Angreifen wants to up for freedom and democracy. 5th Guard popping into the premises, Reactions Major sending up with double anti-tank guns, and we got the pack out for Angreifen. Things are about to get, I think, much tougher here for Caesar. Again, I'm surprised it took him so long, particularly considering it did have all that manpower floating about here. There we go, Panther gained Reactions, double anti-tank against the Panther 4. Only one shot went through, Stumping around the flank, full to being pushed back now as well. Got down the Panther 4 there by the anti-tank gun. Stumping pushing back the anti-tank throughout the Pathfinders being up to deal with that now. A lot of fighting here in the centre. We got the Rifle Goblin Force Ops on flanking the MD-50 caliber, but quickly getting suppressed here. With Jürgen there sticking his fat head out the line, the entire unit to be suppressed. He also take a fair amount of damage. Full pushing on the centre against the Rifle Squad there. They want to get the pack out on this soon. Pushing forward against the machine gun here. There you go. Got Balder through the window. Killing Jack there, but the rest of the unit survives, albeit fairly concussed. Ops on there at high risk of getting wiped out here. Thankfully, even though he moved in all the units here around, maybe taking some on the side path here to maybe have increased chance of catching the Ops on the retreat path. Can soon go for some armor of his own. Grab back Northern Fuel Point again. Caesar's Panther 4 being hauled back. We got the Belgrade headquarters for Caesar. The question is, will he try and solve for the King Tiger, or what will he do? Definitely some risk associated with that. Scott here for Angreifen, more artillery. I think there's again is an indicator as to how the fight sort of is progressing, at least in his mind. He wants more artillery to blast apart all the German infantry. Certainly, that does make sense, but as shown with high explosive shells could also do that, but also help against the Panther 4. So. By the way, he's certainly going hard in the artillery with both pack howitzers and Scots. At least gain control back at the victory points. Lots of reinforcements here for Caesar's men. Surprisingly, by the way, he did not go for the Blitz in any time to reinforce and heal his troops. I'm actually a bit surprised at that. You'd figure he would do that, but guess he just didn't feel that was worth it. Clearly not a fan of motorization. North the Pathfinder was with the Foot Grenadiers, which was in fact an issue the 17th SS also had. Several of its battalions of SS Panzer Grenadiers were actually mounted on bicycles because they didn't have enough trucks or cars to motorize them on, so they had to make do with bicycles. Also challenging the Pathfinders here. Panther rushing northwards, Scott moving in, anti-tank needs to get northwards as well here, but there you go. Germany on the front line of fire of the Scott. Packard joining in the front as well there. Already heavy damage inflicted. Panther's going to move through here. Anti-tanks are at the ready. There you go. Armor piercing rounds are plenty at the Panther 4. Few misses there, but the Panther 4 is down to half health. Northern Fuel Point once being hit here. May want to turn the artillery to deal with that. Panther 4 backing off again in the south here. Another German force from Caesar moves towards here. Pretty much halting Angreifen's southern expansion. There you go, Fult's being hammered. Double artillery pieces. Mine goes off for the Fultgen so far. Get fairly well out of it for now until Jürgen and Fritz there get blown to bits. Almost getting fat the entire unit. We've got the Pathfinders on the retreat path. They may just be able to get it done here. Can they get the wipe here on Caesar's Feuersturm? Yeah, that looks like a wipe. Yup, full wipe here on Caesar. Quite the loss there. Fixing up the Panther 4 there. Got repair parties. Thumbs up. Looks like it's going to double dip here by repairing the Scot and then using the crew to grab the punt at the same time. Not a bad idea. Another fun fact about the 17th that says it actually did not have a lot of training by the time the entire invasion of Normandy began. In fact, only parts of it had months, others only had weeks, and they certainly haven't been able to, like, you know, train as a full division either. So there were certainly some issues there, and I think German High Command, aware of this, actually attached two SS reconnaissance battalions to the division to help make up for that. Especially, I think it was the armoured, you know, Panther-Gundis and sort of the half-track, so they sort of got attached there to sort of try and help compensate for that. And reinforce the division a bit. There we go, full being pushed back. North there, Panther on the move. Looks like a deeper flank here around the northern flank. I think that's a pretty smart move there. And the south also moving forward here for Caesar. Angreifen for the replacement captain. 50 out of our way there. 7 kills, eventually 2. Yeah, the increase in artillery here for Angreifen's going to be a bigger problem there for Caesar and his infantry. In particular, the Scot is going to be a massive headache. Captain out there. Good hit there. Dietmar there got his veins blown off. Stuckers first here for Caesar. Handful gets a great on the Pathfinders. Jürgen there and Rudolf died out there. Looking a bit rough here for Caesar. And I'm definitely not putting up much more serious resistance here. Antony's being held 40 here. Scott flying away. This one on the south here. We got the Panther 4 backing off. Antony gets great on the Panther 4. Up north, victory point there being seized by German. Feuersturm once more. Stuckers of Fuss. 2/3 of the way done. In the south here, Fultz advancing. Captain there suppressed by the MD-34. And we got the Riessens formed into Bazooka team here for Angreifen, improving his anti-tank performance here versus Caesar's Panzerwaffe. Routed. Northern point makes use by the Volksgrenadiere. Back here, reinforcement healing, and of course, crucially repairs. And there goes Stuckers first out. Could go for a tank now here or a tank destroyer. Both have the merits here. Both have definite merits. I would personally, though, go for Sherman. Not so much range to make use of the Jacksons or the 2 anti-tank guns, but also, you know, good as the infantry. He does go for another Scot, though. That also works. I definitely think he needs a tank to also just help, like, you know, draw attention away from other stuff. To help screen his Scots from the Panzer IVs like that. Diving into the Panther 4 could actually clear up both anti-tanks. There goes Stuckers Barrage. That is a huge of a hit here on Angreifen. Both of his anti-tank gun crews, they got utterly annihilated. He's bringing more anti-tank guns. Sturmpion also been brought out again here. Bazooka team is also retreating back here. It's complete chaos and pandemonium. Just a hell of a hit there to Angreifen and the 2nd Infantry Division here from Caesar. That's going to be tough to bounce back from here. He still sticks to the 2nd Scot here. No Shermans, no Jacksons. Just more Scots and then anti-tank guns. Which is a bit bold considering, like, what, you know, Caesar just did to both of the anti-tanks there with the Stuckers of Fuss. So clearly indicated that Angreifen's strategy, I think, in part is to try and murder Caesar's infantry so hard that he can isolate the armor and then deal with it at his leisure. Which isn't necessarily a bad strategy. It does have some particular weaknesses that could be exploited by a particularly aggressive opponent, like Caesar. So we'll have to see if he actually does that, though. Also, they're being handled by the Scots. And obviously, I mean, against an opponent with a lot of infantry like Caesar, it does to a degree make sense to go heavy in the Scots, but you could also like gone for a lot of Shermans, honestly. In particular, when factor in that Caesar doesn't actually have a lot of anti-tank. Like, he's got no Raketen, there's no Panzerschrecks. All he technically has is the Panther 4, so in this regard, there's technically like nothing really stopping him from going for Shermans. But I'm guessing Angreifen is assuming there's a lot of Raketen or something like that hiding about here. But again, Caesar's just operating with like no real anti-tank assets except his tank. Briefly considering on the entertainment and then cancelled it. All weapons being upgraded, I think there. Machine in the south is going to be a really big target position for the Scots here. Sees in the centre of the echelons, northern victory pumping seized by the Volksgrenadier. Heading southwards for the major machinery positioning, obviously concerned about sitting around in one place for too long due to the, well, sheer number of artillery pieces under Angreifen's command here with the Packards and 2 Scots. That, as some of you can figure out, is a lot of artillery. It's like any tide sticks around the wrong place for too long, it's like just going to get flattened out. In the south here, machinery going up with the 2 Scots. Firing the centre from the cannons at it. Quick to pull out the machine gun there. In the centre their sword goes forward. Another Sugar Swiss barrage, but this time completely whiffs. Very fortunate there for Angreifen and his anti-tank gun crew. Would have been definitely difficult to bounce back if he lost more anti-tank guns too quickly against Caesar. Rushing in for the anti-tank, got the Scots rushing in, I think, to try and counter the Volksgrenadiers here. Good hit there. Another hit. No, that wasn't quite a hit. Panther's 1 Scot, Stukas Swiss barrage off here. The off-map version. Oh dear, this could get quite painful here for Angreifen. Panther down forward there for Deutschland. Anti-tank setting up here. Bazooka fire as well. They're going to go for the ambulance, I think, but there you go. Heavy damage being inflicted on the Panther 4. No armor piercing rounds. Panther down to half health. Ambulance survives. They pop out the medics just in case. Angreifen taking no chance there versus Caesar. Forcing healing, fixing up the Scot. Still with tanks for Angreifen, though of course he might be thinking more Jacksons now. And another Panther 4 for Caesar. No turn going for the King Tiger. Honestly, I think that's a pretty solid idea. As the Panther 4 is just more cost efficient. Also there's the anti-tank up north. Scots moving in. All of a sudden quickly retreating having done the deed, and that is just rendered the point neutral.
Alright, fellas, final check.
5 kills for a total of 13. Need to get this Pathfinder's Moon. Of course, need to grab some more victory points back. As for Caesar, second Pentacle is almost done. Which I think just playing very smart. Like, he's always looking for, gaps in Angreifen's defense. He's looking to, like, hit him from angles where he's not quite ready. In that sense, good use of the terrain of the map here. Like, half of the final matches of Kholodny Ferma just tend to, like, devolve into meat grinders of the center, but Caesar is very smartly just avoiding that. Like, he's avoiding getting caught into meat grinder attritional warfare versus Angreifen. And I think Angreifen just hoping he can catch Caesar into that, but again, Caesar's just constantly avoiding that, so he's just making Angreifen's strategy much harder to work. I mean, had Caesar just gone for that, I think Angreifen would just de facto win, but because of the way Caesar's playing around it, Angreifen is just striking a lot more versus Caesar that set. Got a bit too cocky here and could lose to the Feuersturm squad there. Holy smokes, he survived! That is insane, and probably shouldn't have happened, to be honest. In the south here, Panther 4 with full support, they almost wiped the Rifle squad there as well. Rushing the timber up north, got the Panther 4 strong on the flank here. Almost wiping out here for his 50 cal crew. Sturmpin in trouble here. Machine setting up. Could bombard immediately. Got Betty 2 in the Scot here. Need to start bombarding that into the dust soon. 50 need to retreat as well. Machine routed. Panther 4 striking the base. Got a wipe there. Anti-tank being positioned here. Still no armor. Tank destroys it really here with the Panther 4s. I feel like that is increasingly a bit of an oversight here in Angreifen trade for season. We do finally get the M36 Jackson tanks on the move here. Definitely just a hectic and at times chaotic match, and because of the way Caesar is playing, and I think using the many parts on the map here to play around Angreifen's plans. Almost got the Panther 4, the ambulance trying to hide out, but once more gets spotted there. Like, that ambulance has served a lot of punishment without exploding. That is actually quite rare to see. But it's like finding around out, and they're going to take trouble. Got the Bazooka to deal with that. Panther 4 at least attempt to. Jackson almost done here for Angreifen. But his anti-tank gun is almost also done, just a different kind of done. I think he's actually using the Scot here as bait to try and cover up the anti-tank gun. In which case what he should have done, they actually popped a smoke screen, but didn't. North here, Cap versus the Panther 4, they heavily damaged. Jackson almost done. Just absolute chaos here. And clearly, Caesar is relishing that chaos.
Destroyer is ready for
He is absolutely relishing every moment of it. Jackson out there for Angreifen. Captain almost wiped out. Yup, that is another wipe here on Caesar than just Pathfinders. Definitely should want to replace some of these losses. Stuckers was here. Oh, that's a bit of a blunder there by Caesar. There's a bit of a blunder, but fortunately, Caesar is not punished here by Angreifen. As the Scots can't really, neither can the Pathfinders. Mine went off there. Angreifen's starting to get a bit more aggressive, perhaps getting frustrated here. Another anti-tank on all the way there. Still could do with more infantry, maybe some paratroopers here. Could be a good investment. Either with Thompson or light machine guns. Theoretically, like even some bazooka paratroopers could be either versus Angreifen or Caesar's Panzer IVs. Looking to destroy the church, but there you go. Phantom straight hit. Jack gets a good shot there, right for the frontal armor. North of full being bombarded here by the Scots. There we go, almost a full wipe. And another. There we go. Stuckers was knocked out by the Jackson. And this last barrage was kind of a whiff. Like, really, the only barrage that really worked well there for it was the first one, but that was also still, I think, a huge one. Clearing up both anti-tank guns, so that was still a massive barrage. Just wasn't quite able to follow up on it. Like, you know, movie trilogy where like the first movie is great and then they just try to like make money of it, but just none of the remaining movies just ever, you know, make sense in that trilogy. Stuckasser Fuss, the Fussening. That's a terrible, Ludwig. Well, we're just looking to make some money fast. Didn't know the first movie would be such a smash hit. Machine base in the center. Good shot from the Jackson right through the Panther's frontal armor. And to attain almost got him. Might be able to finish off the Panther 4. That's going to be a bit of a blow there to Angreifen as well. There we go. Panther 4 down, machine knocked out as well here. Angreifen is really starting to hurt Caesar, and Caesar may want to adjust his tactics a bit now and his strategy. It's clearly with a bit more mobile anti-tank here. Angreifen is more readily able to counter Caesar's maneuvers. Still, he does have the victory point lead. The Angreifen's actually starting to get a bigger force here than Caesar. It could be a problem. Enforcing healing. He's also got a bit of a manpower float. Is he going to try and hold up for the King Tiger now? That seems ambitious. And again, so far, Caesar's ambitions have largely worked out, so maybe he can make it work. Just maybe. Scotsman forward there. Right there. Fult's going to be advancing here. Right to line up for the Scot. Shooting there. Phantom's one Scot, they're damaging the engine. Fult's shouting 40 with MP4's got 6 kills, but Destiny 4. Stielhandgranate flying at the Yankees. Piece of the damn Tamlin cannon and ripping them apart there, but they're going surrounded by Pathfinders, and of course the artillery fire here quickly forces Caesar's full to this retreat. Panther on the way there, alright. It's a curious choice there. And there you go, what another foot group. We got mobs under there. Even as his other troops are dying out, Angreifen is really starting to hit back. This is looking like a hell of a comeback. In fact, now here for Angreifen, Caesar's situation suddenly looks, well, a lot more desperate. He's got 8, but that's it. Angreifen has only 84 points left, and Caesar still has the lead here, so there's still a chance here that Caesar can win this, but in other ways, Angreifen's starting to look more and more like he's got this, but he needs to like get better map control going, I think, and that's probably his like major issue right now. The sort of force he has isn't exactly built for holding ground. It's a lot of Pathfinders and whatnot. He's got an MG-34 there, so he could set up that one on point. Maybe some fighting positions, though, could help him out there, but we'll see. Mines in the south here from Caesar and his Sturmpionier. And there you go, Panther ready for Caesar and the German army. Jazz going for the Panther, which at the same time reaches Veteran 3. Panther 4, that is not the Jackson. And we got the Scots just basically bombarding away there at Caesar's northern forces. 13 and 17 killed for a total of 30. And Panthers out there for Caesar, moving forward for Deutschland.
Point is being overrun. Infantry, man the MG.
Unit 36 for 61. We'll go out here with the Scots, down straight at the Jacksons. Good shot there. Air support called in here by Angreifen, the P-47s. Can takes a little hits here, down to half health. In this case, the pace off the church absorbing most of the hits collapses, but the Panther survives. Almost got it though. Really close call, honestly, but not close enough. 49 points left again, despite everything, despite it technically having a larger force. Angreifen just isn't able to wield it efficiently as a Caesar in a way that actually allows him to hold the victory points. More forces there for Caesar. Capture Sturmpionier, falls back. Need to grab those victory points. He's bringing the Jackson to grab here. I think Angreifen needs more infantry and needs to get some machine guns on the points as well here. Yep, he's trying to grab, but the crew pops off the point. You can sense the desperation here from Angreifen. 19 points left for the Fiend 56. Can he grab victory here? Or will Angreifen, despite having a smaller force, still win this? Machine northwards, grab the center, grab the south. Again, finding positions could be an investment we need to consider for Angreifen to help some of these points versus Caesar. Panther and Panther 4 need repairs, but Hector sending out the Panther 4. He's also lost his Sturmpioniers, he's down just full committees and the Orbital Dome. Like, in some regards, Caesar is definitely just barely holding on, but he's still fighting here. Jackson rushing northwards. Panther 4 there on the spot as well. There we go, good shot from the Jackson. Veteran 4 on the Panther 4. Machine gun almost getting wiped out already. In fact, he uses the Panther 4's bait for the machine gun to allow the forces to hit the flank. Scott there opens up. Oh dear. Trying to crush them here, at least allowing to Scott to have a better chance to hit them. Fulton moving up here, more fire, their machine routed. Entertaining trouble as well there. South side, we got Caesar stranded southern point here. Center could be pushed forwards on. We got the 5th card there from Angreifen. Chaos and confusion reigns. Like, if Angreifen could just crush Caesar right now, I mean, obviously just catch his forces off guard, he could probably win this, but at the same time, if Caesar can just keep up the confusion, the chaos, and the madness, and just keep Angreifen off balance, he could win this on victory points. He's got his opponent down just 12, so this is going to be a hell of a finish. In the south, he floats from quality with the 5th card, can pop smoke grenades. Model 24, just need to pop it. Panther push back up north here, no smoke here from the Fulton in the center, bit of a surprise to be just under the point neutral. Got 301 versus 12. Panther being pulled back for repairs alongside the Panther 4. What is he planning next? Another Panther 4. Yak Panther. Orbital Blitz. I mean, that could be an idea to consider as well. Pathfinders was the veteran 4 orbital done here. Scott on the move. Heading for the southern victory point again. Panther 4 more or less fixed up. Rushing the northern point. South side, we got the camping force setting a mine there, losing 2 members of the squad. And we got another Panther 4 there for Caesar. Another Panzerkampfwagen. Heading from the northern victory point. Panther being fixed up. Fulton's going for the Major here. Panther 4 the slow getting ready. Rushing at the Major there, pushing him back with some well-placed MP40 shots here. Scott rushing northwards, and the centre we've got the Panther 4 moving in. The further south here, pumping seas for the captain. Fulton being hampered the Scott here. Panther fast in the Scott here. Artillery rain down northern point, but Caesar doesn't care. He just tries to grab it while hoping the artillery doesn't hit his men too badly and only loses Otter in the process. In the south, Panther 4 rushing forwards here. Second one almost done here. You could honestly, again, try and go for another blitz. Ever give him more mobility on the map to help grab points faster here. North here, forwards there. Clearing out the machine gun. A desperate offensive here by Caesar is seemingly working out here by Angreifen. His forces on the brink of annihilation, but still he attacks. Still he pushes forwards.
The enemy is
I need a blend cover here, though. Pop the blend cover. Grab the southern point there. No blend covers here from Caesar, interestingly enough. There you go. Panther to the rescue. Almost obliterates the entire 50 cal crew. There you go. Pop goes the Weasel. Another Scott here for Caesar. Another one. Panther here near Acel going for the Scott. He's got 46 kills on it. A true hero of Deutschland. Arm being fixed up here. Almost got the Sun victory point here against Angreifen. Another Sturm Pioneer squad here for Caesar. Airdropped 50 cals here for him. 262 versus 12. Angreifen is holding. He is holding, but how much longer can he hold it? Can Caesar break through? Looks like he's going to be launching another major assault up north for the Panther 4. The Panther and 2 Fulters holding just the other Panther 4 in the center. Possibly even acting as bait here. Using the more veteran tank here as a tasty target for Angreifen to focus on up north. You need to pop the smoke grenade. Come on, where's the smoke, Caesar? Where is the smoke? Nebelkerzen! Got me to the Panther here. Panther going for the 5th cap, but MG-34 doesn't miss. Hit it. Almost got the Scott here. Pop goes the Weasel. And there, but again, baiting in towards the center here. Caesar was able to rush the northern point here despite everything cleared out here. Take out a Scott. And now Angreifen's forced to rush the north point here with everything he's got, which can leave Caesar now open to grab the center again. He just needs to pop some smoke. Pop the smoke. Why isn't he popping the smoke? Up north, their fighting continues as well. Here, Armor backing off a bit here, trying to bait his Jacksons there, still keep attention up north. Major rushing forwards. 10 points left here. Almost on the opposite right for the Scott. Panther 4 gains the ace level. And we got artillery called in here. The Major Sturm Pioneer pushing forwards. We got 7 points left. 5 points left. Artillery raining down the Scots and Leisha's help, but it does look like Angreifen has lost the match here versus Caesar. It was so close, yet so far. Game over victory here for Caesar. Close, very close there. In the end, though, I think while Angreifen was able to stabilize, I don't just think he had quite the force to really play on the defense. We probably should try and be more aggressive versus Caesar, try and, push him further back, destroy more of his units, and he really needed infantry or fighting position to help hold all this terrain. And that was just the thing. Angreifen really lacked infantry, relied too much on the Pathfinders, and just they couldn't quite do all the things he needed them to do as the match went on, and that I think sort of slowly drained out Angreifen of Caesar. Plus, I think a lack of just general tanks didn't do him any favors. I was still an exciting match here, so I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating on Patreon page as well if you wish to support the Propagandacast. This is Imperial Links. Cheers, and thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.